big announcement today by the Special Investigating Unit and the CSIR that the two organizations will be working together on some investigations. The CSIR will be providing technical expertise, technical knowledge. If you look at how easy it is to move money around using Bitcoin, you can imagine how useful this kind of cooperation could be. Kaizer Kganyago is the spokesperson for the Special Investigating Unit. Kaizer, good afternoon to you. What agreement have you signed? How is this going to work?
Good afternoon, Stephen, and good afternoon to your viewers. We have signed an agreement between ourselves and CSIR, which is an agreement that will look into what we call data analytics, where they will then look into the data of how prone corruption is in government institutions and analyze it for us so that we are in a position to understand which government department are prone to corruption and what is happening with the systems, so that we are able to then assist them in relation to preventing it at that point. But also they are providing services like digital forensic, where they will be looking into assisting our forensic investigators with information that will help them analyze the information that they have. And then they will also give us information that relates to cyber security, because we have now, with our investigation, realized that some of the things that are being done by these criminals or the people who are corrupt are those people who are now using sophisticated kind of technology and machinery. And therefore, we are in a position where we want to get to their level or beyond them and follow up with the latest technology. And CSIR is the best partner to assist us with that, because they've been doing it with COVID-19, they've been doing it with the floods, they've been doing it with the July unrest and so on, and we felt it was a good partner for us to work with.
Okay, so if, for example, from experience, we know that often there's a corruption scandal in, let's say, Gauteng Health, we know that there's going to be a large amount of money spent because, say, there's a pandemic, then they would be able to spot the patterns for you and manage the data to give you a warning as to when corruption could occur.
Definitely, they are going to be able to do that, and that is something that we've been wanting to do, the issue of data analytics, because we believe that we can stop a lot of this corruption even before it happens. You'll remember when we were making presentation to SCOPA, we always talk about systemic recommendations, where we recommend to the departments to say, after we've investigated, this is what we have found, and this is how we can keep it going forward. But in this particular instance, when they analyze the data, they will be able to give us that even before the investigation, so that we close the loopholes, we advise the government department before this thing is done, and it becomes a preventative kind of a system where we are able to block a lot of expenditure before it is done, because we spend a lot of money having to find and look after the money that has already been spent.
One of the things that we've seen when it comes to fighting corruption, we saw this during the state capture era, is how important it is to be able to get information about money flows. So through the banks, for example, for various reasons, sometimes there have been leaks of bank accounts. HSBC had that in the Far East and other situations. Investigators have been able to go to banks or the Financial Intelligence Center and say, what is happening with this money? That is going to get harder and harder to do in an era of Bitcoin. I don't know if the CSIR will be able to help you there.
Yes, these are some of the things that we are looking into, because part of what they will be looking into in terms of cybersecurity is exactly that, because these guys have found interesting ways of moving around money. As you might have seen in some of the investigation, some of the money was moved as cash, where it was put into some cash and carry and then taken out the other side as cash and so on, because they are trying all the other means. And now those things are now in the cyber space. And therefore, that is why we need expertise like that, those of CSIR, because they've been in this space for, I heard yesterday that they have been in existence for 75 years. Therefore, they've got experience in doing the work that they are doing, and we have got experience with the corruption side of things, and together we can really collaborate in fighting fraud and corruption with preventative tools that they will provide us.
It's obvious, I mean, everyone can see that criminals are getting more and more sophisticated with the scams, with the way that they move money, with the way that they steal money. unless you're very, very well resourced, it's going to be very hard to keep up. Do you worry that it seems sometimes that criminals are always one step ahead of the game, Kaizer?
Yes, they are sometimes one step ahead of the game, and that is why this issue of data analytics, we muted it as far back as 2019, and we just wanted to put things into place, and now we are ready to start with it, and that is why we signed this memorandum of understanding, because it was important for us that we really close that gap and be one step ahead of them instead of it being the opposite.
And Kaizer, I mean, there are various investigations that are underway at the moment. Some of them are really going to be very important. Well, they're all really important. People are waiting to see with review applications from Zweli and Kaizer, for example, the former health minister. There are others. Are you confident in the quality of your investigations? Because I think more and more of them are going to be challenged in the courts.
But definitely, we always say that we investigate without fear or favor. And we always make sure that our outcomes are evidence-based. We don't do it because it is against an individual, because we never investigate people. Therefore, we provide evidence to the court. And that is why up to so far, most of the cases that were brought against us, the people were not successful, because we were able to provide evidence before court, and we are able to show what were the reasons why we came to certain conclusions. And we know that obviously because the people have money, they will use the money to try and fight. Like now you've got that case that is before the Constitutional Court, which deals with the issue of whether the special tribunal has got the powers to make orders that they are making, and so on and so on. They will try everything, but at the end of it all, we are confident that we've got the evidence to support our decisions.
Kaizer Kganyago, spokesperson for the Special Investigating Unit. Do appreciate the time. Thank you very much indeed. We'll stay